Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, from the War Chest League, Team League, that was wrapped up a couple of weeks ago, it's going to be Reynor versus Cure. Here on Ice and Chrome, the latter edition. Top right-hand corner, it is the orange Zerg player, Reynor. He's young, and he is a foreigner, but he is excellent and scary. And in the bottom right, we have a red Terran player, Cure. The Korean Terran who took second place in GSL Season 1 for 2020, so he is very excellent and terrifying as well. Alright, so the Team War Chest was released by Wardy, the replays, okay? And holy smokes, it is a pool first play here from a Reynor. Was that a 17 pool or a 16 pool? 16 pool. Wow, I was expecting a 16, 18, 17. That is standard Reynor. Anyway, every time a replay pack releases, I sort the replays by size, and I want to cast the biggest ones and the longest ones, right? So this replay file is 768 kilobytes, which is almost 1 megabyte, which is a very, very large size for a StarCraft 2 replay file. So I was like, this is pretty much over 30 minutes guaranteed. And we'll have to wait and see here to see if that is the case. I don't know. I don't know what he's expecting. Maybe a proxy Rax? Anyway, this is a Reaper. The Reaper's name is MC Hammer. He just wanted to be close to a queen, but out of her range, just to sing and dance. You can't touch this. Can't touch this. Alright, well, so we'll see. This is not going to work out, unfortunately, because there's already a queen on the way. This hatch is going to finish here. There's going to be a queen moving on down. So the Reaper's not going to get much done. I love the SCV. We do like this, right, from Terran players. Checking to see what's the timing on that hatch. And the early lings are cruising out across the map here. So the Reaper needs to stay home. So the Reaper, unfortunately, is actually, you know what? The timing here. If you make another Reaper, can you send the other one across? Cure says no. Cure's like, that's not going to happen. We're going to keep this Reaper at home. The second Reaper... Oh, he canceled and made... Is that a Marine? Was that always a Marine? That must have always been a Marine. Never mind. So the Marine's not going to do anything to defend. The Reaper needs to stay home against these lings. It's the only defense this command center has in that situation, and the lings are just checking for proxies. Look at this, Reynor. If it was a 12 pool, then yeah, absolutely would have wanted to come down here and see what could be done against this command center, but 16 pool is more of a checking for proxy style scenario, and Reynor kind of gambled there. He gambled on a proxy and is shutting it down. That's not what it is. Cure went for a very standard 1 Rax expand, and as a result, I gotta say Cure's probably ahead in this scenario. That said, the creep spread is happening, the queens are out. MC Hammer's going to get nothing done here. Third base getting started at about 2:30 from Reynor, so it didn't slow him down on the third base timing at all. Ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. Happy Wednesday, everyone. This is planned to be a Wednesday cast. Sometimes I move things around, but this should come out when it is scheduled, when I plan on it right now. Hope you're having a good time. School's back in session for my kids. They're doing homeschool stuff. You know, Google Classroom and getting some packets that are being dropped off, and they're completing them and sending them back for my younger kids. It's all just doing our best in these times. But back to the replay size thing. The other thing that determines how big a replay is, besides size, is how much crazy stuff happens. Right? If there's a lot of stuff happening in a game, for example, between Cure and Reynor, it's going to be a big replay size, much bigger than a similarly or exactly same length replay that I play on ladder, because my ladder games are not going to have nearly as much action going on as what we're seeing from these guys. Constantly patrolling, constantly building workers, constantly scouting around. That is stuff that takes size in the replay. So I'm excited. It's a very big replay. It's going to be a good one regardless. Ling's counting on it. They don't even have speed here at 4 minutes, but they're going to check for that third base timing. They see it. And can they pause construction on it? They certainly can. Just temporarily here. And there you go. SCV gets back to work after taking some damage. But slow lings are terrible units. Once you reach a certain point in the game, they can be pretty damaging early on if they show up again and delay your construction on your natural base if you're a Terran player, but otherwise... So finally, speed is done. Queens are out. Any sign of a lair? Yes, there's one on the way here from Reynor at the natural base. What is Cure up to? Getting Banshees. All right, so a Banshee opening, which I usually associate with Special. But more and more Terran players are kind of adopting this Banshee opening after the Hellions, obviously. It's not a straight-up Banshee play. You want to make a couple Hellions, and then with your starport go into Banshees, and then make a battle cruiser. Okay. Oh, how interesting. So the delayed BC basically trying to make your opponent Zerg player feel like they don't need the anti-air. They don't need a Spire. Although spores are coming up. Safety spores, regardless, they're in the main base. Third base, natural. Check, check, check. And did he make that Banshee? Oh, he canceled the Banshee to make the battle cruiser. What an interesting thing here from Cure. So we're 5 minutes in, and Reynor's at 58 workers on 3 bases, which if you want a standard, go for that. Go for the 5.5 minute, 58 worker 3 base play. If you're trying to be like Reynor, you're trying to be a scary Zerg player on ladder, do what he does. If you're a Terran player, go for 2 bases saturated at 5.5 minutes with 45 workers and a big Hellion group. Can you do that? No? Well, work on it. Oh, Yamato coming in too. So this is definitely going to be some battle cruiser commitment out of Cure. I like this. Usually you don't get Yamato if it's just one battle cruiser. So I think things are going to be good. Spire's on the way as I don't know. I mean, he knows there's a tech lab on that starport, but otherwise, I don't know, man. So battle cruiser shows up. Star's getting some kills here in the main base. The queens are far away from home. Ooh, and the creep isn't connecting the main base to the natural, which kind of sucks. So look at this. Hellion push in on the third base while these queens are busy dealing with the battle cruiser. This is good. This is great stuff here. That queen's going to die. There is not enough armor on that queen to save her whatsoever. The speedlings try to get in. The banelings are massively important here. Oh, big time hits. A few of the Hellions go down, and that should be enough. Well, I don't know. We're rolling in, getting some more drone kills there. 16 drones have gone down. Oh, and that battlecruiser did die. I guess it jumped in, so that's fair enough. I thought it would escape. But no, it did jump in. If it got back here, it jumped into that location, did not walk over. So, all right. So, battlecruiser down for 20 drones, which is... that's probably a good trade for Cure. Although, again, 400, 300 is a very expensive thing. And that's what battlecruisers are. Third base here from Cure. Another battlecruiser popping out. You really want to keep those BCs alive if you can. But I think jumping in here was basically a death sentence. There's nowhere you can go. The queens can't hammer at you as you're trying to escape. Yeah, that's rough. +1 flyer attack on the way from Reynor. He's trying to replace his worker count. He is up to 60. Cure's at 62 on 3 bases at 7 minutes. Again, the macro for these guys is great. Reynor's 4th base is popped. More battlecruisers in production. Muta's on the way. So Reynor's decided that Mutalisks are going to be his big play right now. If you didn't watch the Team War Chest League, basically certain StarCraft personalities, casters for the most part, drafted teams. And whichever team did the best, then, you know, that team won. They all played each other. They kept track of records and whatnot. And it was a pretty good time. I remember seeing Nathanius tweeting about it a lot. There was one tweet especially where he chose Sue as part of his team. So there will be some Sue replays in here for sure. And Sue was in his Discord. And Nathanius was like, all right, who's ready to go? And Sue just like, okay. Lowercase O, lowercase K. Made me laugh. Anyway, Hellions trying to cruise on in. And, oh boy, Ling Muta pretty effective against Hellions, as it would turn out. Battlecruiser trying to kill Overlords. The Queen Count chasing Battlecruiser can get off that creep and escape quite nicely. Not meet the same fate as his friend. But so far, yeah, I think Reynor, that early damage he took, he's okay. He's at 85 total. Workers now on 4 bases. Cure's on 3 bases, which is pretty scary. Ooh, I love the Widow Mines here from Cure, too. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a Terran player go Widow Mine against Zerg on this channel, but yeah, man, we are meching. So, there's a great Serral versus Innovation game that I cast a time ago. I want to say a couple weeks ago now. Wow, that Yamato range was nuts. And that's what Innovation did. Innovation opened Battlecruiser, went into traditional mech, then went into race car mech, then went back into traditional mech. And then I think back into Battlecruiser, it was one of the craziest tech switch style games I've seen from a Terran player, and I think it was against Serral as well. So anyway, there are enough mutas here to make that Battlecruiser run for it. Also running means the queens can't keep up and transfuse these mutas, but the damage done by +1 Mutalisks is not bad against Battlecruisers. No one's going to complain about it at all, especially if the BCs themselves don't have any upgrades as far as the armor goes. Infernal Pre-Igniter coming on in, and this is Reynor with his mutas. Like, I have a list. I've talked about this on the channel. I've talked about this on the podcast once or twice, which, by the way, Falcon Paladin Hour. If you search Falcon Paladin in your podcast app, you'll find us. New podcast every week. Just an hour. Not a huge commitment. It's free. And I was saying there's a list of players that I trust with mutas. And I believe it is Dark, it's Rogue, And actually, maybe Dark's off it. And Dongray Gu. And Serral. I think that's it. I cast a game between Reynor and Innovation a couple months ago, where Reynor went Ling Bling Muta against a bio playing Innovation, and I think in 30 minutes lost about 52 mutas. It was a Mutalisk bloodbath. So I don't trust Reynor with these mutas right now. I feel like he doesn't have the super duper top of the line elite control required to do this. Although there are no Thors, right? There are no Thors. There are definitely Widowmines out, and Cyclones trade okay against mutas. And Cyclones do best against armored units, and Mutalisks are not armored, they're light. So again, they're squishy, but that means they do fairly well against certain things you wouldn't expect them to, necessarily. Drilling Claws on the way, Transformation Churvos coming in here too. Kier's 4th base is happily running. Reynor's got a 5th at the moment. So Ling Bling Muta against Mech, which is more of the meta right now. After we saw Dongray Gu completely crush Innovation in GSL after Innovation tried to go Mech with Thors, right? With multiple Thors against Dongray Gu, and he somehow made Mutalisks work exceptionally well, which is why he's on my list. Everybody's trying to do it. Man, the Widowmine connections are going to be big here. Oh! Huge Baneling connection. That would have saved the orbital, except a million Mutalisks were alive. That was a humongous Baneling connection with those Widowmines. The mutas are generally still alive, though, right? 4 of them have gone down here in 11 minutes. It's not enough to put you on my bad list, Reynor, but we'll see how it works out at the end of the game, shall we? Because I don't know who's going to win this thing. Again, Reynor, very, very good Zerg player. Kier, very, very good Terran player. You make it to the finals of a GSL, I don't care what else you've done in your life. You're going to be good. This is enough mutas with Overseer support. You can just pick Widowmines out of the ground. That was one thing that I don't know. I hadn't really seen it all that much. But yeah, definitely if you have the control and you have the timing and the target firing on these mutas, then you can definitely target fire Widowmines before they fire on your mutas. So the Baneling, this is committing Banelings, man. He is going in there. Sensor tower down. Muta's trying to take down that command center. Liberator splash damage is a problem. Oh my gosh. No, the Mutalistas. Okay. Well, that's 23 mutas down. There are 5 remaining. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about with Reynor's Mutalisks. I don't trust him. He didn't see the Liberators. He decided to stick around and try to kill this command center, which didn't die, by the way, and while the Liberators were splash damaging his mutas into oblivion. Plus, he's going to lose his 5th base now because he doesn't have enough mutas to handle 2 battle cruisers. And that's his anti-air, largely, unless you want to bring the Queens over. But, oh, the Yamato, okay, now we have Corruptors. Now we're being serious about these BCs, which I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this, to be honest with you. Like, it's not BC tech. He's not making more battle cruisers. If he has the one, I'd be shocked if he made another one in the game. But Thor production has begun in Ultralisk Caverns on the way from Reynor. And I guess Reynor does have another 5th base down this way. Those Hellbats are not able to do much against. Corruptor is trying to fly in and do some stuff, but turrets exist. Widowmines exist. Battle cruisers and Thors and Cyclones exist. The anti-air is pretty good, I would say, here out of Cure. Cure's planetary is not... Ooh. It wasn't there yet, but Cure's army coming in to deal with that was enough to handle about 20 Zerglings without question. There are 2/2 Lings, which is scary, but the mech's at 2/2, which is also... I mean, it's equal count. So trying to go Ling Bane against this race car mech with Liberator support. The Liberator's not going to do as well versus the Corruptors. It turns out big time Baneling hits, and the Baneling bomb on the planetary does end up going down. Goodbye, Planetary Fortress, the Baneling Bomb. Zerg's best use. Best tool in the toolkit against Battlecruiser. I really don't know about this Ultra stuff. I don't. The Liberator count is high. Wait, quick fact check on that one. Never did all the Liberators die to those Corruptors? Never mind. The Liberator count is reset. And Ultras will be okay. Ultras actually not great against Cyclones. Pretty decent against Thors. Bad against tanks. Bad against Ghosts especially, but I don't think we're going to go that route here. The answer to Ultralisks is going to have to be something in the mech tech tree. I do like Liberators here, although again, the Corruptor count is 11, so yeah, alright, fair enough. Maybe don't do something that is easily killed by Corruptors, as we're seeing here. Especially considering the Corruptors do have +2 flyer attack and +1 armor. Reynor's upgrades today are really fantastic. They are very good. Alright, Sensor Tower, down. Missile Turrets, down. Tank, down. Ultra's trying to engage against these tanks, these Thors, and these Cyclones. You know what? He feels like he's got this thing. But, no. That Ultra's dead. The Ultra up here is dead. The Caustic Spray, ooh, does not finish. It can't finish off the Orbital because there's enough anti-air remaining because the Ultras are gone. Dude, Reynor is up 197 to 144 supply, but I feel like Cure keeps hanging on here pretty effectively. Yes, he's lost one of his bases, but he has killed a Zerg base of his own. The creep spread is not insane at this point. I think Cure's done a pretty good job getting rid of that. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about. We're 15 minutes into this thing, and it's been bonkers. Absolutely bonkers thus far. Pathogen Glands on the way. +3 flyer from Reynor. You do not often see +3 flyer attack out of Zerg players. Blue Flame Hellions roasting up, 6 more drones to bring the total to 31. Left side Baneling Bomb, though. I see you. I see you coming on in here. Banelings trying to explode Corruptors. And that's a finished off planetary. The Banelings helping in the end there. And then the Corruptors flying on out. No big deal. Additionally, Ling's getting into this base because it's not a planetary. And more 21 SCVs have gone down. Where the heck are we? Man, just more Hellbats, huh? Alright, this is how you play mech, though. You gotta be Hellbatting it up all over the place. 38 drones, 41 drones have died. 46 SCVs have died thus far. Income is hugely favoring Reynor right now, despite all the damage he's taken, because he's doing damage on the other side. Don't ya know? Another base on the way from Reynor. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an 8th base from... Cure might just be dead. This is an 8-basing Reynor, unless there's some kind of huge scary mech push that Reynor does not have the answer for. He doesn't have any Vipers. He doesn't have any Lurkers. He doesn't have any Mutalisks. Did we just... Good heavens. More... And they're all previously injured, too. I mean, that's just... This isn't even Banelings. Like, usually these Lings show up, you have time to run away, but because everybody's already so bruised up... Oh, and the angle he comes into... And just nope, instant death. Just instant death on 18 SCVs. Without even Banelings. I mean, that was just... Whoop! Yeah, I think Reynor has this thing. I'm looking at it, and just based on the sheer numbers and the income and the army supply size and the amount of bases and... I mean, there are no spellcasters. Are there any infestors? No, he's getting Neural Parasite. And he's got Pathogen Glands, but he's not even bothering with infestors here. A little bit of Blinding Cloud. Do we have a Viper? Is that a Blinding Cloud? I don't know that there's a Viper anywhere. No. I don't know what I saw down there. Hang on. Oh, just Baneling residue. Yeah. Okay, 6 infestors in production. So this is where Reynor's like, all right, I can't deal with this traditional mech army with just units. Regular old boring attack units. I need spellcasters, and today it's going to be infestors. So infestors in production. Neural Parasite about 50% complete, and this is how you beat this mech. This mech will ruffle stomp most players in Diamond and below with just an A move, but against somebody like Reynor, who's significantly above Diamond, well, let's just say Reynor's going to be able to handle this. You're going to see the magic of infestors. And they got nerfed, and then they got nerfed again, and then they got nerfed again, and they lost infested Terrans, and you don't see them as much anymore, but they're still really good against Terran mech and against Skytoss. I mean, Cure's feeling all right here. He has to be feeling all right here, but I mean, he's going to get a base, which again, Reynor's on 8 bases, so being on 7 bases is not the worst thing in the world. But I don't know, like big scary mech army on your front door. I don't know who's going to win this thing. I don't watch them in advance, but 6 infestors out. Where are they? What the? Oh, they're sneaking around. They're sneaking around for a flank. I love the tanks are spread out. I like the Thors are spread out, so Baneling splash isn't as big of a deal. Top left base goes down too. I mean, killing this base with this mech would be kind of awesome. Army supply is bigger for Cure right now. And I mean, these are +3/+3 mech units. Cure's upgrades have been real nice. Yo! Here we go, though. Ultralisks, Banelings, Zerglings on top of all of this mech. Again, not enough spellcasting happening here. And these Ultras are all dead. They're all dead. There's no Blinding Cloud. There's no Neural Parasite. Reynor's kind of trying to smash his head against this wall. Where are my... Oh. Hold up! Sorry, I know I'm doing this a lot. Where did the Infestors go? Okay, here they are. We saw them. They're going to try to neural, I guess, all these tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be pretty good. So yeah, he times it. So he comes over. Man, there's no detection in this army at all. There's the Neural Parasite, but there's the scan, and wow. All the Infestors instantly die to other tank fire and stuff. They don't get as much done as they wanted to. This is actually... Cure's army looks really terrifying, but the HP value is not very good on these guys. Many of them are very injured. He's trying to spread out some creep. He needs to kill like 2 more bases, I think Cure does, to win this game. Queens and Lings and 2 Ultras are not going to cut it. 7 more Ultras in production from Cure. Counterattack of Lings. When you can't deal with a giant mech army, you counterattack with Lings. That's a Falcon Paladin special. I'm like, ah yes, giant mech army. My Infestor control is not good enough. And maybe Infestors aren't even really the answer. Lings trying to come from the south. Is this enough Ultras and Queens from the north to wipe this out? By golly, it is. And again, largely by the virtue of the fact that a lot of these mech units are extremely injured. Ridiculously so. So that tank's going to die. That tank's going to die. The Cyclone with 15 kills is trying to do something here. Again, lock on. Ugh, so good. It's a spell. It ignores armor. So the Ultralisk, anything that ignores armor, is going to be great against Ultras. Clutch Transfuse, though, from Reynor there. Exceptionally clutch Transfuse. Was that 11 Infestors in... Okay, that was 11 Infestors in production. Sweet. Whoosh, Blue Flame Hellions, clearing out the creep down new creep tumors. Blasting them right into space. Alright, well, bases have gone down. Income is fairly even at this stage for both players, which is nice for Cure. But, like, he hasn't taken a new base in some time. He hasn't even tried to take a new base in some time. And Reynor's retaking his 8th. He's retaking his... I think this was his 4th. And the outer lying bases have been pretty happy for some time. There is an Ursidon overlooking them there. Infestor hit squad present. They do get scanned. Cure sees what he's dealing with. It's going to be an Infestor hit squad. Lingbane Ultra. Man, Blue Flame Hellions, though. This is how you do. Do you struggle with Zerg as mech? Well, have you incorporated Blue Flame Hellions and harassment into your strategies? Because if you have, you can kill a lot of drones. 80 drones have died. 78 SCVs have gone down. Both these players have taken huge hits to their economy. But again, Cure hasn't taken a new base in some time. And in fairness, he's lost bases enough that, like, he's not super mined out, but... he needs this. He really needs this. Or maybe this. I love the burrowed lings at both locations, though. Dude, that is the biggest Infestor hit squad of all time. Ah, Fungals. So Fungals on the race car mech. Widow Mines getting some decent hits off. That's a lot of Neural Parasite for a couple Cyclones. But, again, if you can kill the Cyclones in a race car mech army, you've effectively neutered the whole thing. Cyclones are key to making that work. And this might just be... I mean, again, this is your one source of income right now. This is an economic attack. This is not necessarily that Cure is not going to have anything left army-wise, but he's going to lose this base. Lose a ton of his SCVs. There's a single Hellbat in the top left trying to get some stuff done. But the Neural Parasite, too much of it. Cure is out, and Reynor is your winner. Again, because he decided to go for some spellcasters. It is so hard. It is so hard to beat mech without spellcasters, and that's exactly what happened there for Reynor. We saw some battles where he tried to make it happen without any infestors, and it didn't work. We saw him do it with infestors. He got more damage done, and then with infestors again and completely crushed. So yes, if you have spellcasters in your army, you're going to have a better time. I would love to see Cure maybe get some Ravens in the mix. Right, anti-armor missiles, really good against ultras. Anything that reduces the armor or ignores it is going to be fantastic. Auto turrets can be pretty fantastic against lings if they're kind of set up behind the army up in situations like this. Ghosts with steady targeting are pretty amazing as well, although then they can catch fungals that make their steady targeting spell get interrupted, and that's bad news. It's a whole dance. It is a whole dance here, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that mech is good is the problem. Anytime a Zerg player knows how to use spellcasters, whether it's Vipers abducting your big ticket items like Thors and tanks into the lurkers that you have, or it's just this, Neural Parasite on the tanks, Neural Parasite on Cyclones if you want to, and especially Neural Parasite on Thors, just the big ticket items getting taken over to the Zerg side temporarily can really swing battles. If you don't have those, you don't have the Vipers, or you don't have the Infestors, you're going to have a bad time. All right, well, I mean, I guess we could check out this button and this button where, you know, for a minute there, Cure had a decent income, but when he lost that newest source of income, his healthiest source of income, that was it. He was done. He was done. But yeah, end of the day there, if you can kill 83 drones of Reynors, you're going to have a pretty good time, but you additionally cannot lose 101 SCVs yourself. It's going to be a bad time. It's just too much. It's too much economy to lose there. Ends up with 28 SCVs to 70 drones. I mean, that's Reynor just pumping out 150 workers in this game. 700 Lings went down, 19 Ultras died. Had 4 at the end of the game, lost 6 Infestors, lost all 28 of his Mutalisks. Again, you have not earned the title of somebody Falcon trusts with Mutalisks, Reynor. I love you, but this is a very elite list. 3 battle cruisers, 6 Thors, all went down, 31 tanks. Big deal on that one. An orbital command, 2 command centers, and 2 planetaries is just... That's a lot. That is so many bases to lose. And no matter who you're going against, but especially against somebody as scary as Reynor. All right. Well, you know what? That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.